Look at your hand. Really look at it. Move your fingers. Clench your fist. It feels like you did that, doesn't it? It feels like there is a pilot inside your head, a conscious, rational you, sitting behind your eyes, pulling the levers, making the decisions, and driving this meat suit through the world. You believe that you see reality as it is. You believe that when you buy a coffee or fall in love or get angry at a tweet, you are making a free choice based on facts. But I am here to tell you that this is a hallucination. The you that you think you are is not the CEO of your brain. It is the press secretary. Its job isn't to make decisions. Its job is to explain them after they've already happened. Neuroscience tells us that your brain decides to move your finger up to 200 milliseconds before you are consciously aware of the decision. Psychology tells us that 95% of your life is run by automatic scripts, ancient biases, and chemical loops that you didn't write and you can't see. We are walking around in a fog of our own creation. We are machines that think we are ghosts. But here is the good news. If the mind is a machine, it has a manual. If it is software, it has source code. And if you can learn to read that code, you can do something that very few human beings ever do. You can wake up. To master psychology isn't just about learning cool party tricks to read body language. It is about understanding the terrifying and beautiful glitch that is the human condition. It is about realizing that the world you see is not the world that exists. Today, we are going to tear down the illusion. We are going to reverse engineer the human operating system. We are going to look at the 3 layers of the mind, the beast, the storyteller, and the architect, and we are going to learn how to take back control. Welcome to the source code. Chapter 1, The Rider and the Elephant, the Myth of Rationality. To master psychology, you first have to destroy your ego. You have to accept that you are not rational. We like to think we are Homo sapiens, the wise man. We think we are logical creatures who occasionally get emotional. But the truth is the opposite. We are emotional creatures who occasionally use logic to justify our feelings. The psychologist Jonathan Haidt gave us the perfect metaphor for this, the rider and the elephant. Imagine a massive 6-ton elephant. This is your subconscious. This is your intuition, your emotions, your gut feelings, your System 1. It is ancient. It is powerful. It moves based on fear, desire, and habit. Sitting on top of this elephant is a tiny human rider. This is your conscious mind. This is your logic, your System 2, the part of you that can do math and plan for the future. The rider thinks he is in charge. He holds the reins. He says, I will go to the gym today. But if the elephant sees a peanut or a notification on your phone, or if the elephant is tired or scared, it doesn't matter what the rider wants. The elephant is going to go where it wants to go. And here is the scariest part. The rider won't admit he lost control. Instead, the rider will start rationalizing. He won't say, the elephant overpowered me. He will say, actually, I decided not to go to the gym because rest is important for muscle recovery. I made a strategic choice. This is called the interpreter module. In the 1970s, neuroscientist Michael Gazzaniga did experiments on split-brain patients. He would show a command to the nonverbal right side of the brain, like walk. The patient would stand up and start walking. When Gazzaniga asked the verbal left brain, the rider, why are you walking? The patient didn't say, I don't know. The patient's brain instantly invented a lie. I'm going to get a Coke. They believed their own lie. This is the first law of mastering psychology. You are a lawyer, not a scientist. Your brain does not search for the truth. It searches for evidence to win the argument it has already chosen. This is why you can't win a political debate on Facebook with facts. When you show someone facts that contradict their beliefs, it doesn't change their mind. It triggers a physical threat response in their amygdala. The elephant feels attacked. It charges. The rider starts making up excuses. To master this, you have to stop talking to the rider and start talking to the elephant. You don't change behavior with logic. You change it with friction, with emotion, and with environment. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't tell yourself sugar is bad. That's talking to the rider. The elephant doesn't care. Instead, throw the junk food in the trash. Make it physically hard to get. You have to change the path of the elephant. Mastery begins when you stop trusting your own explanations. When you feel a strong opinion rising up, you have to ask, is this true? Or is this just my rider trying to explain why my elephant is angry? Chapter 2. The Social Glitch, the Invisible Puppeteer. If the first layer of psychology is internal, the second layer is external. We are not just emotional creatures. We are herd animals, and the herd is terrifyingly powerful. In the 1950s, a psychologist named Solomon Asch ran an experiment. He put a real participant in a room with 7 actors. He showed them 2 lines. One was clearly longer than the other. It wasn't a trick. It was obvious. He asked the group, which line is longer? The 7 actors all gave the wrong answer. They said the short line was longer. Then it was the real participant's turn. He looked at the lines. He looked at the group. He sweated. He knew the answer, but 75% of the time he lied. He agreed with the group. Why? Because to the human brain, social death is more terrifying than physical error. For 200,000 years, being kicked out of the tribe meant you died. Being wrong about the length of a line just meant you were wrong. So the brain prioritizes conformity over truth. This is the social glitch, and it runs your life. Look at mirror neurons. When you see someone smile, your brain lights up the same muscles to smile. When you see someone in pain, your pain centers light up. We are wirelessly connected to each other. This is why you feel cringe when someone else does something embarrassing. You aren't just watching them. You are simulating being them. To master psychology, you must understand the bystander effect. We look to others to define reality. If you see smoke coming out from under a door, but nobody else in the room is reacting, you will not react. You will assume the smoke is safe. You will burn to death because you didn't want to be the weird one who panicked. So how do you hack this? You have to become the deviant. The moment you understand that 90% of people are just mirroring the person next to them, you realize that confidence is a superpower. If you walk into a room with absolute certainty, the herd will instinctively follow you. Not because you are right, but because you are breaking the feedback loop. This is the dark side of psychology. Cult leaders, dictators, and master marketers know this. They know that if they can get 3 people to clap, the other 300 will clap automatically. But you can use this for good. If you want to be more likable, don't try to impress people. Just hack their mirror neurons. When you listen to someone, physically mirror their posture. If they lean forward, you lean forward. If they talk slow, you talk slow. Their elephant will say, this person is like me. This person is safe. It is a cheat code for connection. But the ultimate mastery is knowing when to unplug. It is noticing when you are buying something just because it's trending. It is noticing when you are angry just because your Twitter feed is angry. It is stepping out of the stream of the herd and asking, is this my thought? Or did I catch it, like a virus? Chapter 3. The Storytelling Engine. Memory is a deepfake. Now we descend deeper. We have looked at the elephant, emotion, and the herd, society. Now we must look at the most dangerous illusion of all, time. You think you have a past. You think your memories are a video library stored in your hard drive. And when you remember your childhood, you are pulling up a file and watching it. This is false. Every time you remember something, you are not playing it back. You are recreating it. You are rewriting the file. Elizabeth Loftus, a memory psychologist, proved this with the Lost in the Mall experiment. She took participants and told them a story about how they got lost in a shopping mall when they were 5 years old. She had their family members corroborate the lie. Within a few days, the participants didn't just accept the story. They started remembering it. They described the old man who found them. They described the flannel shirt he was wearing. They described the fear. They had built a full, detailed, traumatic memory of an event that never happened. Your memory is not a camera. It is a Wikipedia page that anyone can edit. Why does this matter? Because your identity is just a collection of these stories. You tell yourself, I am a shy person because I was bullied in 3rd grade. I am bad at math because I failed that test. I have trust issues because of my ex. You are building a narrative arc, the story of you, to explain why you are the way you are. But if memory is a creative act, that means you can change the story. This is the core of cognitive reframing. You cannot change the facts of what happened to you, but you can change the genre of the movie. Most people live their lives in a tragedy. Look at what happened to me. I am the victim. To master your mind, you have to switch the genre to an adventure. I wasn't bullied because I was weak. I was bullied and I survived, which made me independent. I didn't fail. I learned a way that didn't work. This sounds like cheap self-help, but it is hard neuroscience. When you change the narrative, you change the neural pathways. You change the filter through which you see the future. The self is a story, and the pen is in your hand. Most people just let their trauma hold the pen. Mastery is grabbing the pen back. But there is a force that makes grabbing that pen almost impossible. A chemical force that keeps you trapped in the present moment, addicted to the glowing rectangle in your pocket. To understand why you can't focus, why you can't sleep, and why you feel anxious when you are bored, we have to talk about the molecule of more. We have to talk about dopamine. We need to talk about why you are unhappy. We live in the safest, most comfortable, most entertainment-rich era in human history. The culprit is a single neurotransmitter, dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure molecule. You eat chocolate, you get dopamine. You feel good. This is wrong. Dopamine is not the molecule of pleasure. It is the molecule of desire. In the brain, pleasure is handled by opioids, endorphins. That is the feeling of, I'm satisfied. Dopamine is the feeling of, I want. It is the itch. It is the drive to seek, to hunt, to acquire. Evolution designed dopamine to keep you alive. It made you walk 10 miles to find berries. It made you chase the gazelle. It rewarded effort. But today, we have hacked the code. We have removed the effort. You have a device in your pocket that delivers the dopamine hit of finding a berry every time you swipe your thumb. But here is the glitch. The brain doesn't just want reward. It wants unpredictable reward. This is called reward prediction error. If you press a button and get $10 every time, you eventually get bored. Your dopamine drops. But if you press a button and sometimes get $0 and sometimes get $50, your dopamine goes through the roof. This is why gambling is addictive. And this is exactly how social media works. When you pull down to refresh your feed, you are pulling the lever of a slot machine. Will it be a funny meme? A text from your crush? A rage-bait news article? Or nothing? You don't know. And that uncertainty keeps the elephant hooked. We are stuck in a dopaminergic loop. We are overstimulated but undersatisfied. We consume content for 5 hours a day, but we feel empty. Why? Because we are hitting the desire button without ever hitting the satisfaction button. We are burning out our receptors. This leads to anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure. The world turns gray. Motivation dies. So, how do you master this? You have to do the hardest thing in the modern world. Embrace boredom. You have to go on a dopamine fast. You have to teach your brain that it doesn't get a reward for doing nothing. When you are standing in line at the grocery store and you feel the urge to pull out your phone, don't. Stand there. Stare at the floor. Feel the itch. Let it burn. Boredom is not a defect. Boredom is the default mode network of your brain coming online. It is the state where creativity happens. It is the state where you process your emotions. By killing boredom with scrolling, you are killing your ability to think. Mastery is reclaiming your attention. It is deciding that you will not be a lab rat pressing a lever. You will be the scientist observing the rat. Chapter 5. The monster in the mirror, the shadow. We have fixed the elephant. We have cleaned the lens. Now we have to go into the basement. There is a version of you that you don't talk about. The version that gets jealous when your friend succeeds. The version that has violent thoughts in traffic. The version that wants to cheat, to steal, to destroy. We are taught from childhood to hide this version. Be a nice boy. Be a good girl. Don't be angry. So we repress it. We shove these dark traits into a bag and drag it behind us. And Jung had a terrifying warning. The brighter the light, the darker the shadow. This is called projection. Psychologically, we rarely hate things in other people unless they remind us of something we have repressed in ourselves. If you absolutely hate arrogant people, ask yourself, where in my life do I want to be arrogant? Where do I feel small? The person you hate is your mirror. Shadow work is uncomfortable. It is painful, but it is the source of true power. Your shadow contains your aggression, yes, but it also contains your assertiveness. It contains your ability to say no. It contains your creativity and your passion. If you kill your demons, you kill your angels too. To master your mind, you must stop being a fragmented person. You must invite the monster to the table. You don't let him drive, but you let him speak. You say, I feel the urge to destroy this. That is interesting. When you label an emotion, this is anxiety. You move the activity from the amygdala, the panic center, to the prefrontal cortex, the logic center. You literally cool down your brain by naming the ghost. This allows you to become the architect. The architect knows that willpower is a limited resource. The architect doesn't fight the elephant. He changes the path. He knows that if he buys cookies, he will eat cookies. So he doesn't rely on willpower to stop eating. He relies on design to not buy them. He knows that if his phone is in the bedroom, he will scroll. So he leaves it in the kitchen. You stop trying to be a better person, and you start building a better system. The 4 steps to mastery psychology is not a subject you study. It is a war you fight every single day. The world is designed to hack you. The algorithm wants your attention. The marketers want your money. Your own biology wants you to be fat, safe, and impulsive. If you want to win this war, here is your battle plan. The 4 steps to psychological mastery. 1. The pause. Between the stimulus, the insult, the notification, the urge, and the response, there is a tiny gap. Your entire freedom lives in that gap. Do not react immediately. Widen the gap. Take 1 breath. Let the rider wake up. 2. The question. Interrogate your own narrative. Why am I doing this? Is this me, or is this the herd? Is this true, or is this a story I'm telling myself? Do I want this, or is this just dopamine? 3. The reframe. Take the pen back. If you failed, write it as a lesson. If you are hurt, write it as growth. You are the editor of your own life. Never let the raw footage go to air without your edit. 4. The integration. Don't hide your dark side. Use it. Don't fight your emotions. Watch them. Accept that you are a messy, irrational, emotional machine. And then learn to drive the machine. You are not the rider. You are not the elephant. You are the space in between. The source code is open. The manual is in your hands. Stop living on autopilot. Wake up.